The next speaker is the President of ACT Rescue and Foster, Wendy Parsons. And Wendy has been the ARF President for 4 years and is a communications specialist with over 30 years experience. ARF is a combined association of people in Canberra and the surrounding regions who rescue dogs from euthanasia and foster them temporarily in their own households until they can be found loving permanent homes. What a great initiative. Please welcome ARF President Wendy Parsons.
Stay. Good off. Thanks very much for asking us to take part in this. Future gazing. It's Wednesday morning, December 2075, in the Canberra region. 2075. The kids are just going into their classrooms and the students to their lectures. Today, the younger ones are learning about you and your pets. At high school, it's looking after animals, and at uni, it's animal behaviour and interactions with humans. These are the learning modules set down in their curricula and are based on the latest information from animal behaviourists and other professionals. At teacher training colleges, student teachers are learning to teach these modules. Politicians, who as young people studied the care of animals at school and university, are watching over sound legislation on animal care and use. This legislation has been put in place and successfully implemented because adequate resources were made available to ensure its success. Business leaders who were educated under the same curricula recognise the opportunities to access the community market through well-regulated animal care. In both government and commercial animal shelters, state-of-the-art facilities are set amongst pleasant bushland with well-trained and well-rewarded staff to manage the stray and unwanted dog population. These shelters are closely regulated by legislation and are based on the latest research. Government has retained an active accountability and responsibility for animal management and care, whether in its own facilities and services or those that have been outsourced. Years ago, both government and community realised that the expanding human population would mean an expanding dog population. So they wisely and with great foresight put in place a permanent program of free and reduced price desexing and microchipping. A socialisation course is part of the dog registration fee, and completion of the course finalises registration. Many years ago also, puppy farming, backyard breeding and the sale of animals in pet shops were banned. All breeders are registered with a nationwide and regulated organisation. All volunteer rescue groups have excellent working relationships with each other and with government and business at both the operational and policy levels. The elderly and disadvantaged folk of the Canberra region are enjoying their animals in pet-friendly accommodation. Years ago, authorities finally realised that this was a vital part of addressing mental health issues which had been an enormous strain on the public purse. And in this year of 2075, it's the norm to be able to take your pet to work. Or if your pet, who is part of your family, is unwell, you have leave arrangements available to support your caring responsibilities. Back now to press the button, time machine, here we go, and we're in 2015, Thursday the 24th of September. What does that look like? In the ACT, there is a rapidly expanding human and pet population and overstretched government and non-government shelters where the infrastructure is ageing fast and barely coping. Dog registration is cheap and its administration is not well funded. Animal welfare is not high on the priority lists of governments at both state and federal levels. In the ACT, the Animal Welfare Act 1992 and the Domestic Animals Act 2000 have undergone revision and indeed became effective last week. This is good news. However, it remains to be seen whether adequate human and financial resources have been earmarked to ensure effective implementation of this legislation across the community. If the legislation does not come with the resources, it is very difficult to see how puppy farming, backyard breeding and the sale of animals in pet shops will be eliminated. Volunteer organisations and animal shelters, both government and otherwise, are stretched to the limit and can't save the lives of all the animals needing homes, as James told us. Elderly and disadvantaged people struggle to find places where they can have the pets that are so important to their quality of life. Mostly they don't find these places. The importance of people getting old, who are getting older and being able to keep their pets with them is critical. As far as we understand it, you can enter many retirement places with the pet you have, but once that pet passes away, you can't get another. Surely that kind of regulation can be done away with. After all, people may live in semi-retired accommodation for decades. Studies in the care and use of animals in the community does not appear in the ACT schools curricula, although there are 2009 implementation guidelines on the care and use of animals in the schools themselves. One of the stated principles underpinning the ACT curriculum is, quote, schools and their communities are best placed, they are the ones best placed to make decisions about curriculum for their students. Schools, in consultation with their communities, may also identify additional worthwhile learning for some or all students for incorporation into the curriculum. Now, wouldn't it be good to see government, together with animal charities and volunteer groups, publicly encouraging all schools to include the care of animals in their curricula? Over the next 50 years, a vital key to the whole issue of unwanted dogs in the community is education at all levels. And responsibility for such change lies not just with government, but with schools, businesses, charity organisations and volunteer groups. The generations between now and 2075, they will be the ones to determine success or failure. Success will mean reducing the drain on the public purse, while ensuring a far better life for both people and animals. Failure will increase the drain on the public purse, and community and public debate on animal welfare will become increasingly hostile and counterproductive. Our midterm, in other words about 2040 goal, should be a sustainable dog population in the Canberra region. Sustainable meaning that as a result of increasing awareness of animal care across schools and the community, regular government-funded desexing and microchipping programs are in place. The government's animal welfare regulations are based on up-to-date principles of animal care and behaviour and are firmly established with adequate funding in place to police them. With this framework in place, the shelters and volunteer groups would have a good chance of coping with the intake of unwanted dogs. And there always will be some unwanted dogs, as we've already heard, human beings being what they are. But our goal should be to reduce that number as far as possible. Businesses in the Canberra region could be encouraged to recognise the opportunities in the animal welfare sector, particularly the need for new shelters with other animal services incorporated, vet and emergency care, for example. And we understand that this concept is still on the ACT government's books with initial funding set aside. The goal for 2075 is the one we outlined in that opening time travel scene. Animal care on the curriculum at all levels of education, animal care principles established in the minds of politicians, businesses and the community, ongoing desexing and microchipping programs, socialisation integral to the registration of dogs, pet-friendly accommodation widely available to the elderly and disadvantaged, and excellent communication throughout government, business, education and volunteer communities at both the operational and policy levels. All this can only be achieved if the communication between all parties is vastly improved from what it is today. In 2015 there appear to be roadblocks to that communication of various kinds across the sector, and until these are removed we will remain in our current position. Improved communication has to be based on all parties being willing to sit down with one another and talk in person, not just swapping emails, Facebook and Twitters. Emails, Facebook posts and Twitter feeds are terrifically valuable tools of communication in many situations, but to achieve the vision outlined here. Regular in-person discussions, we think, are essential to carry that vision through. So, can we realise our vision? What do you reckon? We think it's possible. Do you? Thank you.